Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Online Teaching Show. My name's Tim, and glad to be back on the regular day of Monday at, I think it's 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So wherever you are in the world, please say hello and use the chat box to engage with other online teachers, ask questions, and it's always nice to see who is watching. We've got Benita, who says, hi, Steph. Hello to you, and can't say your first name there, but how's it? I think that's South African for how's it going, right? And we've got Zelma. Looking forward to the chat. Thank you so much. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, on here I talk about online teaching topics, companies, going solo, independent teaching, all of those things. So if that's of interest to you and you are wanting to get into online teaching, excuse me, or you want to scale your business or learn about, the different opportunities that are out there, you're in the right place, and it's good to have you here. Hi, Kelly. Yes, from South Africa. Hello. And your name is Richard. Okay, I'll try to remember that. So I'm always looking for guests on the show on Mondays. If you are an online teacher, please reach out to me if you've got a story or you want to talk about something that would be interesting or just your journey as an online teacher. I have had so many people reach out and just be really grateful for hearing other people's online teaching experiences, because it helps us to be better online teachers. It gives exposure to great companies and great opportunities in the online teaching industry. And I really love it. And it makes, I think, the show more interesting. So reach out to me if you are watching this as a replay or live. You're more than welcome, and we'll set up a time to come up and chat. And today, my guest is a returning guest. She reached out to me last week, and I thought that the topic would be really fun to talk about. Crazy online teaching stories. And Stephanie's going to share some of those with you, and just her experience as an online teacher, but also someone who has and is sometimes hiring teachers for her own online company. And so welcome to Stephanie.
Hi,
Hello.
Tim. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. Thanks for coming back. So why don't we get started with introduce yourself and tell folks what you do in online teaching.
So I'm Stephanie, and I have a little baby online school. Like most, we started from the crazy downfall of ESL online teaching in China. And we grew and grew, and this year we'll be turning 3, which is crazy. Turning
Wow.
3. So it's time to start planning our little party. And so I've been online teaching for 8 years. 8 years, yeah. Online and in South Korea too, for 3 years. And so it's been quite a journey. Quite a journey.
I bet. And for folks that are interested, if we're not going to talk too much about the business side of it and running an online school, but go back and look at my channel, search for Stephanie, it'll come up. We did a live, I think it was a year ago, about your online school and how you kind of decided that you were at a place where you had enough students, or more than enough, that you could actually bring on some teachers, which I think is another next step, right, in building your online teaching brand and business. We've got folks probably in the chat who are just starting, wanting to teach, looking for companies, going independent, trying to find new students. So and I think you're a success story of how you've been able to build that. So I'll encourage anyone watching after this, if you'd be interested, to go and check out that interview, because there were lots of great tips around how sort of to do that. And I'm sure it's a learning process every day, but it's so cool to see that you're still doing it and that it's growing. So tell me, like, how many students do you have right now?
We've got 31 at the moment.
That's fantastic. Very, very cool.
31 at the moment. And actually, after our session last year, it has been crazy, up and down, but I've had so many teachers reach out, and it was so nice. A lot of them really enjoyed the clip, the video, and
Yeah.
they learned a lot. I still have people messaging me just now
Really?
before live. Yeah, I still had
Oh,
someone saying that, wow, that was so inspirational. So thank
yeah. Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Thank you for coming on, because yeah, that's really cool to hear. And so in that role of someone who has hired teachers, has interviewed teachers through resumes and emails, and I'm sure you've seen lots of intro videos and things, as have I, except I've never people often mistake me as being a recruiter or someone working for a company. So I get people just sending me resumes or intro videos, and I don't really have the time to kind of like coach them into how to improve.
you.
But as someone who hires teachers, um, tell us what have you seen? And basically what I'd love for this chat to be about is like some of the not the don't do's, and what you
Yeah.
see as someone who hires, where you could provide some value and tips for us. So why don't we start with well, where would you like to start, Stephanie? What do you
I
think we could
think
start with?
I think we can start with some of the challenges I faced. Um,
Yeah.
just from a small like background perspective, from a small school, like not a big flashy school like VIP kid or something.
Yeah.
Small independent school, and just some of the challenges that I found, like my experience, first time ever.
Yeah.
So things to look out for when you want to begin, this journey, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So what are some of the
Yeah.
crazy things you've seen?
Yeah. So the very first teacher that I hired, amazing, sweet, sweet woman. And I think it was about a month and a half, 2 months almost into her teaching with me. So this is after the onboarding, all the training, everything. Um, then she mentioned to me, she was like, "Oh, Steph, I've got something to tell you." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, what?" And she was like, I'm pregnant. And I was like, "Oh, wow, when
Ah,
are you due?" Like, I'm excited. Like, this is fantastic. Like, I'm
yeah.
excited. When are you due? In 5 weeks ish.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm excited. Don't get me wrong. Like, I was over the moon for her, happy, happy, happy. But at the same time, obviously, new challenge,
Yeah.
maternity leave, finding a cover teacher, training that teacher, letting the parents know, managing parents' expectations, because you know how it is. They don't really like change,
Yeah.
um, not too much change. So managing parents' expectations and everything in the background,
Right.
um, all of that. So that was like my first kind of boom. Here we go.
So what okay, so, what
And
King
yeah,
is here for the tea. Kinga, you are
here for the
always here
tea.
for the tea, and so am I. We love the tea. We're not saying names or anything, and we're not, bashing anyone. We all make mistakes and things like that, and so okay, so tell
Yeah.
me, what were they asking for, and, like, why was this a challenge? Obviously, because it was
Yeah.
happening in a few
So
weeks, right?
yeah. So like the first thing, it made me a little bit sad because she said that um she knows it's very close to her due date, but she was afraid that I wouldn't hire her because she was afraid of being discriminated against. And I felt so sad because
Ah,
I know that that is something that women have to deal with, whether
yes.
it's in online teaching or any job that they're applying for. I know that it's a challenge, right? And I
Right.
felt so sad because this is something that she obviously struggled with maybe in the
Mhm.
past, and she found a good opportunity. She didn't want to let it slip through her fingers. So I completely understand where she was coming from. And yeah,
But
so, but I still had to get everything done in 5 weeks.
yeah, exactly. So
So
what would you recommend for folks? Like
putting, so what I did was I went through previous applications before I put out an ad. I went through all the
mhm,
previous applications again, and I reached out to someone who I thought might be perfect because then the teacher had some experience but could do with a little bit more training. And so I thought, okay, well, this was a cool, a nice moment where I could put some extra time into training a teacher and, helping them along, because I think that would
Right.
be a good opportunity.
Right.
And yeah, so I did that, and that worked really well. She ended up, she told me at the end, I like it here. I want to stay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so with that teacher, next challenge.
Yeah.
This is- yeah, so first teacher, fine, everything was okay, no problem. She went on maternity leave, all was well in the world. And so
Yeah.
she was the other teacher was the cover teacher. And it went well. Everything was fine. Parents were happy. It was all good. But then with uh, the newer teacher, um, so I had some trouble. So the training went fine. Everything was fine. Um, and then later on, I noticed, but the teacher's not doing like the basic admin. Because with me, I like my teachers to rename their lessons. So it gives them the freedom to tailor lessons to the students. So um, if they are struggling with a certain section of a lesson, take your time, stretch it out,
Right.
help the student, and rename the lesson part one, part two, whatever, unit one, whatever it
Yeah.
is. So it gives teachers freedom to do that. It's not like rushed, like lesson one, lesson two, lesson three. I don't
Right.
do that.
Right.
Um, but that wasn't done. So I couldn't keep track of it was all over. So first
Mm.
thing I mentioned that it's on and off, on and off, and then we hit a snag with a student because I noticed that he was struggling, but on the teacher side I could see that things could be a little bit better. So I scheduled training sessions. I was like, look, let's take it to the next level. Let's see how we can improve the situation. A
Hmm.
couple of training sessions, and it wasn't quite implemented
Okay.
in the classroom.
Right.
And but then I noticed that the teacher was just teaching from a coffee shop.
Oh, she was teaching from a coffee shop.
From a coffee shop place. Yeah, her setup was fine. Everything was fine. But then she moved at some point, and then I noticed it was from a coffee shop. And I was watching replays of the lessons
Uh-huh.
because I want to see how the student is doing and everything. And then
Yeah.
I noticed people like in the background,
Oh.
like this waiters, like this is staff in the
Oh.
background.
So
So
maybe
there was
just
that.
not right. So
Yeah,
not
like
being super professional. I mean, I'm sure every online
exactly.
teacher has been in a situation where, and I have as well, where, when I was traveling more or I wasn't based somewhere yet, I had to, Wi-Fi becomes an issue, internet becomes an issue. You've got to like
Mm,
find something really quick. So yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, teachers have had to go to McDonald's or like Starbucks to
yeah,
like get the Wi-Fi just in an emergency. But
yeah,
consistently doing that, not a good idea.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was consistent, and I mentioned like I could hear the coffee shop music. You see people in the background, and you could see like it wasn't the setup wasn't like fantastic.
Yeah.
Um, and then at some point you get to the point where like, hey, but parents aren't too happy about the situation. They can hear music in the background, and like at the point, like I had to do a double take and be like, yo, wait, this is
Am I
my
hearing?
business.
Yeah.
This is my reputation.
That's
Um,
right.
and so eventually you have to take a step back and be like, what is the bigger picture here? How does this affect me in the long run?
Right.
And yeah, we had a serious chat, and then I had to let her go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's hard. Like, I mean, now you're in a position where you're the owner of your teaching business and you've hired teachers and you've got students that, are expecting a particular product, and when they're not getting that, you're not the
Hmm.
one delivering it. So, yeah, I mean, that's right. It's
Hmm.
it's a hard call to make, but
Yeah.
uh definitely,
Yeah.
for online teachers out there, I mean, be professional, right? Like you need to kind of, especially if you're working with a small company like yours. I mean, there's a lot of great ones out there, including yours.
Mm,
Like you don't always have to go with really big ones. There's some great small niche companies out there that just have a handful of teachers, but
mhm.
um, you know, you're representing the owner and the company, and you need to, show up and do your best. And teaching in a cafe
Yeah.
every day isn't it. So,
Teaching in a
any
cafe
more?
is one thing. Yeah, I've got one more for you. This one is
Okay.
like I got it's really I had to ask myself, like, is it me? Like, am I the drama? Why?
Right.
'Cause, so the next teacher, um, she fantastic teacher, nothing wrong with her teaching, perfect,
Mhm.
no problem. Um, but she got very sick. She was suffering from diabetes.
Mhm.
Again, like if teachers, you need to take care of your health. And first and foremost, I told all my teachers, take care of yourself.
Mhm.
I'm not the kind of person who will penalize you for taking a day to recover. Maybe you woke up, you feel like trash, and take the
Yeah.
day, get better. Like I'm not going. I'm not that kind of person, right?
Right.
And all good, no worries. But then she got really, really sick, and she had to be hospitalized. And but it was really bad. So then I told her, you know what? Take all the time you need. I am. I'll sort out everything. I'll manage the parents. I'll let them know. Don't worry about anything. Recover. And all good. I canceled all the lessons, managed the parents, did everything else in the background that needed to be done. Um, so that was in January. I'm gonna get
Okay.
back to January. Remember January,
Okay.
the beginning this year. And eventually she gets better, all is well in the world, carry on. And eventually, like at one point, she got so upset. This was, when was that? March? It was in March. She got so upset. And I was like, but what's happening? Like, what? And she says, but Steph, um, I've been holding off going to the hospital. So mind you, she's been on and off sick since January, on and off, and it's fine, we get through it, it's okay.
Yeah.
But now in March, and she's like, Steph, I've been holding off getting to the hospital. Um, and oh no, wait, actually before that, so wait, before that, she also tells me, oh, Steph, by the way, I'm pregnant. And I was like,
Oh.
fantastic. I got this. I know exactly what to do. I know what to expect. Happy for you. It's cool. We're
Uh-huh.
gonna get everything sorted, no problem. So that was the first thing. Second thing, she tells me, yeah, Steph, I've been holding off going to the hospital because you didn't want me to teach then, so you canceled all my lessons. And I was like, but yeah, but you was you were in the hospital. Like
Mhm.
hospital. And she's like, yeah, but I can teach from the hospital. It's okay. Like the other
Oh god.
companies allow me to do it. So I can teach from
Uh-huh.
the hospital. And I was like, no, that's not okay. That's
Yeah.
not I don't feel like it's okay. Like, you're sick. Like,
Yeah, it's so hard. People, I mean, need the money, right? And are willing to.
I I know.
Yeah.
So this is why I felt like I had to really take a step back again and be like, but
Yeah.
am I wrong? Am I missing something? Because number one, um, if someone's in the hospital and it's serious, like it's
Yeah, you
not,
shouldn't be teaching.
you shouldn't. And then I'm just imagining the picture in my head, like the background, the drip,
Right.
and then nurses coming
Right.
in, doctors coming in. I don't really know how
Yeah.
it goes,
Yeah.
but yeah, I was like, and what if something happens? Like
Yeah.
she's teaching a lesson and then something happens, like
Yeah.
to her
Yeah.
physically,
Yeah.
and
So
then
what
what?
happened with that?
Eventually she resigned. She said, since I won't let her teach from the hospital, she will resign. I was like, that's
Mhm.
okay. You can, if you feel that that's the right move for you, then I support you 100%. Um,
Right.
yeah, so I had to feel like I had to yeah, it was tough. It was
Yeah.
tough to me. I've
Yeah, I
never
think that's
ever
like
been in a position like that. Like,
yeah.
it was
I
weird.
think you come across as a very caring person and someone that is willing to kind of go the extra mile to make sure that a teacher's taken care of, and your cancellation policy is probably flexible where you want this teacher to be healthy, right? So yeah, that's tough and something that I'm sure anyone that has higher teachers has to deal with. These life happen type of things, life things
Yeah.
happen, and it affects it's a fine line, right? It's a fine line. You've
Mm,
got to take care of like your business, but you also want to take care of the teacher, and yeah. So
yeah,
can
so
we get
that
into
was
like resumes and videos because you hire
yeah.
teachers? So what are the things that you see? Because I've seen some craziness when people send
We can
me
compare.
resume. So give us what you got for and really pointing it back to tips for
Mhm.
teachers when you're
Yeah,
applying for jobs.
yeah. Um, I guess from the get-go, it's just sending the email, like the layout of the email. I've gotten so many emails from teachers with just the resume, like just the resume,
Right.
no hi, no nothing, and it's just a resume. There's
Yeah.
nothing there. I won't even open it because number one, it tells me that they didn't read the ad.
Yeah.
So like you put out your ads and then follow the instructions. Number one, instruction wasn't followed. It's just
Yeah.
resume, nothing else.
Yeah.
um, and then check the format of your email because and make sure the links work. If you have Google Drive links, I often find that um, when teachers link their, especially the introduction videos, they link it to
Mm.
their Google Drive accounts. Then you
Hmm.
always need permission to view that document,
Mm.
and it doesn't always work. And once you're going through all those resumes and things like that, you don't have time to email back and be like, "Hey, can I get permission?" And then
Yeah.
you go all the way back.
You just
It's
set yourself up for failure right there. I mean, I would say with
honestly
intro videos, maybe you have a different idea, but I would say put it on YouTube as an unlisted or a
yes,
private video and send the link to you.
yes, I've
Um,
had that too, and that was fantastic. I've
yeah,
had that
because
too, and that works. Yeah.
Google is not a great product for video in Google Drive.
Mhm.
Google Drive is meant for files,
Yeah.
documents, things like that. Google has things that are meant for video. It's called YouTube. You can put it in even Google Photos and link that actual video from there, but not Google Drive. Usually, it
Yeah.
takes you have to download it sometimes, right, to view it. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Which I don't
What
mind
else?
downloading videos. It's okay. I don't mind it,
Yeah,
but as long as it works, as long as I can access it, that's okay.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and also with the attachments, make sure that it's the right attachment
Right,
because I receive it's crazy. People don't check their attachments. One
right.
time I received a guy as from a guy, um, and it's also just the attachment again, but it was his resignation letter to the school
Oh
that
my
he was
gosh.
currently at that point. His actual resignation letter.
Oh
And of
my
course I'm
goodness.
nosy, so I read the whole resignation letter.
Right, of course.
But but yeah, just resignation letter. So make sure that it's actually the right thing that you're attaching.
Yeah, yeah.
um, yeah. And then just the layout of your email, make sure you say hi, I'm from so and so. Um, I'm this kind of person. I hope to hear from you. That whole spiel, like it's all nice and whatever. Make sure that all the attachments are there. And also, what I find is that sometimes people attach everything,
Ah, right.
like everything. Um, Recently, I got an email from someone who attached their resume, intro video. No intro video. Um, yeah, resume and TEFL certificate, but then all other certificates from like every place this person did something at. Like, I
Track and
yeah,
field winner in high
it
school.
was it was I got high school reports. I got all kinds of reports, all kinds of like, make sure your attachments are relevant.
Yeah. And
Yeah, like it
also,
was just fun.
what about resumes? I'm sure that there's like more to
Yeah,
emails. I mean, spelling mistakes are just
spelling
look, we all
mistake.
make spelling mistakes, but proofread, like just check and make
Yes,
sure that your grammar's correct and things like that.
yes,
What a terrible
yes,
first impression, right? Yeah.
yeah. And then just the layout of your resume as well. So when I see, um, often when I see resumes that are just so wordy, like it's just
Yeah.
chunk and chunk and chunk and chunk, and then it runs off the page. Make sure the format is correct. Um, and what else? Oh, and check the profile photo of your resume. I've had selfies on
Oh, really?
literal like actual.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's so most of these things that we're discussing is pretty basic things that you think is pretty basic, but time and time again, like these are the things that you see in the background, like
But if
people.
you're hiring 2
Mhm.
teachers and you've got 30 applications, let's say, you
Yeah,
know, you're not going to spend any time on someone who took a selfie, who's got
no,
spelling mistakes,
no,
who doesn't even professionally, address you in an email,
exactly.
who resume is all out of whack. I mean, there are
Yes,
tools these days that really help things to be 100%, right? Use a template in Canva.
yes,
Use Grammarly to check your spelling.
yes.
Use,
Also,
a proper camera. Get someone to take a photo of you. It's not hard.
yeah, and also if you have trouble writing, I've got a lot of introduction letters too, which is nice. Like I would like that. Use ChatGPT to do it for you if you
Hmm.
again, but if you need to use ChatGPT to write your intro letter, then
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I would.
but if
Exactly.
you're in a pinch, at least spell check it on ChatGPT.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We can do
Your
that too. That's
Wi-Fi is a little bit unstable. Hang on a second. I'm just gonna remove you and try again.
oh,
I'm getting a bunch of glitches. I don't know. I'm seeing myself okay, but you're glitching, but it could be, who knows. Anyway, so what about intro videos and things like that?
yeah, intro videos. Gosh, I yeah. So basically, make sure it's all the basics. Nice, clean background, educational background if you can. If, especially if it's for online teaching, like you want to demonstrate, like, hey, I've got the space. I'm ready to go. Um, I've had some intro videos that were very questionable. I had one in the bathroom. Someone did an intro video in the bathroom.
No way.
Yes way. And then so I understand, don't get me wrong, I understand lighting in the bathroom can be lovely. I do understand, but
Yes.
often there's an echo. You see the double mirrors, like it's
Yeah.
and I don't want to see your bathtub in the back. Like
Yeah. Oh my
it's
that's crazy.
I also had one video where I think it was a nice idea, but it wasn't executed really well. So I had a video where someone did it on a farm with some farm animals in the background, but it was really windy. And so the sound quality was very poor. There was a lot of
Mm.
feedback in the audio as well.
Mhm.
Um, and the video quality was also not really good.
Okay.
So I understand the ideas there. I think maybe just take some time if you want to do something like that. Make sure that you execute it a little bit better, because I
Right.
think it's a good idea if you want to change things
Yeah.
up and be in a certain environment. Yeah, I
But
think that was
I
one.
would say at the end of the day, like, you wanna see someone in their teaching environment because that's what you're hiring
Yes,
them for, right? You're not
yes,
hiring someone for your farm. So,
exactly,
yeah, I get the
exactly.
creativity, but, like, I would say
Yeah,
don't go too creative because getting too creative creates problems. Like, they had a good idea, but it was too windy
yeah,
because 'cause you're outside on a farm, right? So,
exactly.
yeah, I
Yeah,
hear you on that. And you were
yeah,
telling
and then
me about, yeah,
uh-huh.
keep going.
Oh, yeah, I
The
just wanted to
kids in the
mention,
background.
when you're using a background image, I know that sometimes you can just add an image and then it shows up in the back, but sometimes
Right.
they often a little glitchy, and then you see a
Right.
lot of weirdness like around the person's body.
Yeah.
Um, if you're gonna do that, like make sure you use a green screen. It's
Yeah.
so much better with a green screen. I think on Zoom and I think what's the other one? Camin, Manicam. They
Yes.
have those options. Try to use a green screen because that can be a little bit distracting. It might not look like, very well on camera,
Yeah,
like
I think
the final
one
product.
further thing with that, a lot of video platforms, even StreamYard, we can use virtual backgrounds here, but
Mm,
it depends on just the contrast and
yeah.
avoid blues and greens. And yeah, if it doesn't look crisp, then again,
Yeah.
getting too creative can create too many problems. So
Yeah,
just
keep it
keep it
simple.
simple. Yeah, keep
Keep
it
it
simple.
simple. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a white background, plain white background works. It's okay
Yes.
too.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So for intro videos, that's that. Quality audio, neat background, green screen. Oh, and be natural and confident. Like, I know for some people it's very intimidating to have to shoot a video and you're sitting there by
Yeah.
yourself and you go, "Hi, I'm." I
Yeah.
know it can be very intimidating. Um, but when you're watching those videos, you as someone who's going to potentially hire this person, you want to see the person is confident. You want to see the person be natural and just
Yeah.
use their
Yeah.
bodies and yeah,
Yeah.
because this is me all day every day. so yeah, so I'm looking for that too. I want the person to be confident and easygoing.
Yeah.
Because often I've also seen like some people sit very stiff. Hi, my name is so and so, and I've got a TEFL, and I've got
Yeah.
yeah.
So what would you
You
say?
want to
What are you
see
looking for? You want more natural, because
yeah
people have to make, videos for most jobs, online teaching related. If it's not a
yeah
video recorded beforehand, it's going to be live. I mean,
mhm,
it's 99% of the time you're going to have some kind of video component if you're teaching online in order to
right
get hired, right?
yes
Or even if you're not getting hired, like to market to your own private students, and or if you're making content on social media, it's all video these days. So,
yes
um, what
get
would you suggest?
comfortable get
Mm,
comfortable in front of the camera. If you need to watch some funny videos before you start
yeah,
shooting, or if something like that, something that makes you laugh, something that makes you confident, something that um, relaxes you just a little bit. Whatever
yeah,
you need to do, practice in front of the camera a few times before you start shooting. Eventually, you're going to do it so many times that it's going to feel normal. Eventually,
yeah.
um, yeah, that's what I would suggest. Yeah,
Okay. Um, yeah, I mean, I can concur with all of yours. I've seen it all with people that have sent me resumes and intro videos.
yeah,
It's you want to spend the most time putting the most effort into understanding what is the company asking for or the person asking for, because if you read the ad, if you read and go on the company website, or if you watch YouTube videos from people that also work there, you will learn so much. I think many people jump the gun and just apply too quickly,
hmm
and it's like, I'm just going to send out resumes to 100 people and hope that one sticks. But wouldn't it be better to send out 5 or 10 really solid ones and get 5 or 10 offers back?
yes.
Um, yeah,
Another thing that I've seen, Tim, is that often people send resumes, but then it's not specifically for teaching. It's just like a general
yeah,
kind of layout. So
yeah,
they're probably applying to so many places at once.
yeah,
So make sure you tailor make your resume for specifically online teaching and only include relevant experience on your resume, because you don't need to be adding all your 10 years of experience at wherever it was. As long as it's relevant, it can go on fine, no problem. If it's one page,
yeah. I agree. I've got I'm just gonna link it here. A good a good blog post on that I wrote a couple years ago. So I'll
mm,
put it in there. It's how to make a teaching resume, and I give you a template for my own resume that you can just plug and play into Canva. But
that's
I think
amazing. Yeah.
your advice on customizing it to the position is really key as well, because people can tell a generic resume,
hmm
but if you've gone and learned about the company and you know exactly what you're applying for, then I think that can be just set you apart. And
hmm
what's your take on 1 versus 2 pages?
One or two, fine, no
Hmm.
problem, no
Okay,
problem. As soon as it becomes more, then it's a bit of it's time
because my
consuming.
belief is, personally, and I don't hire people, but personally I believe that, and sort of things I've read about and heard from people, is that one page is sufficient for most positions. And I would say and argue that within like an online teaching position, if you can curtail your experience, education, um, for just online teaching, then you can get it on one page, and it's just
Yeah.
easier to kind of go through. And so the template that I put in that blog post is a good. It's a one page thing that you can just plug in the necessities. Nobody cares what high school you graduated from,
No.
or that you worked at Starbucks. I guess if you have no job experience, and put what you've done, but if you've
Yeah.
got anything to do with teaching related, or customer service type things related, or you know um, anything like that would be
Mhm.
the things to highlight, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely, absolutely. As long as it's relevant, then
now,
yeah, by all means.
can we end with,
And
did you want to share another one?
Um, I just wanted to mention in interviews,
Yeah.
once you get to the interview stage, just make sure you prepared. If there's demo material that you have to go over, make sure you go over it and practice it. Because I could see, like, I thought, like, this teacher looked really good on, resume,
Yeah.
everything, intro video, perfect. But then you get to the demo lesson, and then I could tell like the teacher wasn't sufficiently prepared. So if
Uh-huh.
you have questions about the demo material, ask. Don't be afraid to ask questions. If you've been
Yeah.
invited for an interview, I would I would 100% ask if I don't understand or I want to clarify something. Ask
Hmm.
100%. What if you're unsure of the age group? What age group is it? What is can I use props? Can I do this? What are your expectations? What are ask.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. I think that's
I would rather be over prepared than under prepared.
Yeah.
And also demo teaching material, and then at the end of the interview, there's usually the stage where people ask like, "Do you have any questions for me?"
Hmm.
Often I find the people that say no.
Hmm.
I always feel a little bit bleak about it because this is
Yeah.
your moment to shine. This is your
Yeah.
moment, 'cause especially if you nailed your demo lesson.
Yeah.
This is your moment, especially if you have sufficient teaching experience, and you are the teacher that they are looking for. You have um, exactly what they're looking for again. Ask for that increase. Ask.
Mm.
In my
Yeah.
posts, I did say that the salary is negotiable. So
Hmm.
if you have the relevant experience, speak to people. I noticed most of the people I interviewed, none of them asked about um,
Mm. An
increasing the
increase.
pay rate.
Ah,
No
interesting.
one, no one asked. So if you're not going to ask, the answer is always no. And this is for any situation in life. If you want something, don't be afraid to ask for it. So the answer
Yeah.
will always be no unless you ask.
I love
Um,
that. I think it shows that if someone asks you questions about your company, you feel good because you know that they're interested. And if
mm,
people are afraid to ask about money because they feel like it's being greedy, and, oh, this person is not going to hire me because they're going to have to pay me more. But actually,
mm,
does it not work the opposite, where, you feel like, well, this person's quite aware of their capability and their what
mm,
they bring to the table. So it could
mhm.
really work in your favor. I like that.
Yeah,
So be
yeah,
prepared with a couple questions, and don't be
yes,
afraid to ask for more if you feel you
yes.
deserve it. And why?
Because if you know that you are worth more, and we all know like the rate is not that, especially for South Africans. Just today, I was looking at one of the groups, the online groups. Another company was offering $4 per hour
Oh,
for a
wow.
teacher. Four. I mean, if you know
Wow.
that you're worth more than $4 an hour,
Yeah.
ask for more. Ask for
Good.
more. If
Yeah.
you know you can do better, ask for more. Because at the end of the
Yeah.
day, like I remember with one company I was with, um, I did ask for an increase, and they said, "Okay, cool. In maybe in like a month's time or so, depending on your performance for the month."
Right.
Cool. I remember teaching those classes and thinking, "Okay, I'm doing my thing. It's going to be great." Da, da, da. Month passes by, and I was like, "Cool. So this is everything I've done. I've got 5-star reviews. I've got this, that, that. Can I please get my pay rate increased?" No, we're still going to wait another month or two, whatever, whatever. So
Ah.
that time goes by, and then I'm sitting there and I'm like, but I don't feel good. I'm teaching this lesson and I know I'm giving a quality lesson, but I'm not getting
Yeah.
paid sufficiently. So it lowers your morale as a teacher.
Yes.
Um, so ask for more. At that company, every 2 weeks, can I get a raise? Can I get a
Yeah.
raise?
Yeah.
Maybe don't be as aggressive as I was. But I knew I was leaving anyway, so but I
Yeah.
still tried. So yeah, don't be afraid to ask.
That's great. Thank you, Stephanie. Where can folks find you, or do you want to share any social media, or like do you post anywhere, or do you anything at all?
I
If anyone
am
has any
I'm
questions
on
for you, can they reach out to you?
yeah, of course. I am on Facebook, Stephanie. I'm now Van Wyk. Stephanie Van Wyk.
Oh, did you get married
Yeah,
recently? Oh,
yeah,
exciting.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. So that teacher that resigned, the one from the hospital, she actually just left. She resigned 2 weeks before the wedding.
Oh my gosh.
Um, yeah, so it was like,
Crazy.
yeah, yeah. Luckily, I got someone in time, and all
It
was
worked
well in
out.
the world.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
you
good.
can find me on Facebook, Stephanie Van Wyk, and I'll send it to you over here, just with my name.
Sure.
It
And then,
is public.
okay.
Um, just in case people have trouble with the spelling.
Hi,
Um,
ELT Experiences. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Cindy. And yeah, thanks for saying hi, folks. Okay, so on Facebook, Stephanie
yeah,
Van Wyk. And there we
yeah.
go. I'll put it in
Yeah,
the
Facebook will
in
be
chat.
the easiest. I'm more likely to see messages on Facebook,
Okay.
than anything else. Yeah.
Well, we've gone way over time, but thank you for hanging out and thanks for sharing your tips.
Of
I loved it,
course.
and I thought it would be helpful for people that are, wanting to get into this stuff. So, great. Thank you so much. Stay
Awesome.
in
Thank you
touch.
for having me, Tim. Yeah, you
Have a
too. Yeah.
wonderful day.
You
Okay.
too. Thanks, Tim.
Thanks everybody for watching as well. And if you are watching the replay, please leave a comment or ask a question, or maybe share, your experiences related to this topic. It's always good to hear from others who are, doing similar things. So thanks everybody again, and I'll reiterate what I said in the beginning. Would love to have you on the channel if you're an online teacher wanting to share tips, tricks, your own experiences, your journey with this online teaching thing that we're doing. And you can always email me. My contact information is below, as well as courses that I offer. I've got a great online teacher bootcamp free course that a lot of teachers have joined over the years, and it sort of helps you to get set up with getting into companies. You can also join my free webinar, which is the 3 secrets to launching and growing your online ESL teaching business. So you can go to onlineteacherdude.com/webinar, and the link will be below for that as well. So thanks again for watching. Have a wonderful week of teaching or whatever you're doing, and we'll see you next week.